The Diary of George Burmeister. In this entry, George is talking about victory from the front lines at Yorktown. This gives him a lot of hope because he knows that it means that they might not have to move down to the south and start fighting just quite yet. At this point, him and his fellow soldiers could be thinking that the Iowa Division will never be called down to fight and that this war will just die out before they are ever needed to be called to battle.
Yeah, my brother went first and they called me too. I was green as clover in the morning dew.
To celebrate the newfound victory, him and some of his fellow soldiers have a wicket club meeting that night. Obviously, it brings them a lot of joy and distracts them from what is going on around them. George officially appreciates it and says how good of exercise it is for him and his men.
With a sword in the saddle, powder in the gun, we thought for a minute I'd fight.
Unfortunately, though, bad news has reached him the next day. The rivers of the Mississippi and Muscatine are starting to overflow its banks, so him and his soldiers and the help of the local civilians are doing their best to drive it back. But good news from Yorktown is that all of the rebels have officially been driven out.
Won't you carry me back? Won't you carry me back? Carry me back to Virginia. Won't you carry me back? Won't you carry me back? Carry me back to Virginia.
Wednesday the 7th, the famous Artemus Ward was playing at the local Tremont Hall. George said the man had a couple good jokes, but except for that, his performance was very below standard, which is surprising since Artemus Ward was a huge figure at the time and had a lot of figures looked up to him, such as Abraham Lincoln and Mark Twain. It is actually believed that Mark Twain was inspired by Artemus Ward in some of his writings. George ends his diary by saying how well the Union soldiers are doing everywhere. This, of course, gives him a false sense that the war is going to come to a close soon, but little does he know that the rebels have a lot more fight in them.
Spilled our blood in the fight to defend and the bury us all over Dixieland. Down in Alabama.